got time to fill. They've created a game called Mashflix and Chill. The same two fools with a bit of a twist. With each new mash, a new guest they enlist. It started as hybrids, a game from Carl's mind. Thinking about what if two movies combined, we could stitch them together in pyramid style, or a filmily tree set side with a smile. We still do the scale, all 5 points we've got, and unveil the ale. Only Carl drinks the lot. A man called Adam said, hey, this looks good, so we made it a podcast as quick as we could.
Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where a pair of amateurs haphazardly dissect classics, mashups and some films that only one of us likes. I'm Simon, and as usual I'm joined by my good friend Carl, and for our Mashflix and Chill episode today we are delighted to have with us a complex man, a Metallica megafan, Yoda hater, baseball fanatic, who laughs in the face of a 3-hour episode, a man who does God's work by providing high quality beer to the good people of Long Island. He is the host of the Best Picture Cast. It's Kieran B.
Mashflix and Chill, it's time for the start. Still just two idiots trying to sound smart. Mashflix and Chill, only mildly offensive, but podcast equipment should be more expensive.
Hang on, Yoda hater.
Oh my God, these guys with the video clips, you say one thing and then they push it out on social media,
You didn't. Right, Simon, you said a lot of good stuff, but you left this out. What the Yoda hater?
This is quite recent. It's from the Empire Strikes Back episode. And I haven't even got to the bit where in the actual episode, but it just popped up on my Instagram. So I'm looking forward to actually hearing what you really said. Rather than just
that's how social media works. They take the headline and then it rolls it out there. No, I just said, he's kind of the size of a football. Yeah. And he's a bit annoying, particularly in the segment that we meet him. So when I'm rewatching that movie, I sometimes have the inclination to want to punt him, or kick him through the uprights here, as we do in American football.
Yeah.
Well, I know which is my next episode. I'm not a fan of Star Wars.
Okay,
really.
So you're not offended then by the Yoda take?
Not at all. This is great stuff.
Well, I've introduced myself to your viewers or your listeners.
Yeah, I'm here.
Here. No, guys, I'm super pumped to be here. I'm excited. Whenever if I'm going to guest on a show, it's going to be a show that I enjoy listening to. So I don't come in like a fish out of water guest to just try to promote my own stuff here. So no, I'm super excited to be here and be a part of the Mashflix and Chill here.
Yeah, brilliant. No, we're excited to have you on, and you have proposed an excellent mash. But before we get there, we do want to find out a little bit more about you for those that aren't familiar with your work already. So if you can just give us a little bit of background to your movie fandom, tell us about the Best Picture Cast, what's it all about, what do people need to know?
Sure. So I host Best Picture Cast. We're celebrating our 6th anniversary coming up this next month. So it's been a nice little ride. At some point in my movie fandom, I made the decision, said, hey, why don't I watch all of the Best Picture winners, go from 20 to 1920 to today, and it'll give me just a good feel of the history of films. I don't know much about movies pre 1970, and whether it should have won or not is not really my concern. It's more or less just give me a little glimpse of what they liked that year. And throughout the course of my early 20s or so, I knocked through them. And what we ended up with is you get to the end of the list and it's like, well, what now? And what do us men do is we start podcasts. So the idea is I just watched them all. Now, why don't I force my friends to watch them and we'll discuss it? So instead of a poker night or just a casual hang, we'll sit around and talk about Chariots of Fire for 3 hours, or A Man for All Seasons, or Wings, or whatever movie won. And we're pretty much to the end of our list now. I mean, we have about 12 or so movies left, and it's been a wild ride. We've had a lot of fun. It's the to me, the best part is just people watching movies that otherwise never would have seen them and getting their reactions of it, and that's been the fun part. And just from hearing from our listeners too, that's what they like as well.
And I was excited to hear, Kieran, that you've got a new Patreon starting in 2026 as of now.
Yeah, we just launched it this month. It's exciting anytime we do something we say we're going to do, because there's a lot of, hey, we should do this, we should do that, and it doesn't always or rarely ever happens, actually. And this was one where it worked out. So we're using it as a platform to put extra content out, other show ideas that don't stay strict to Oscar Best Picture canon, which 6 years in, some of my cohorts are just about fed up with. So we're going to do something like, we have a Joey R, who's on our show. He's also on 1001 by 1. He stubbornly has refused to watch some of the greatest shows of all time, like The Wire, Breaking Bad, and Sopranos. He refuses to watch them. So Grant and Oz, two of our other co-hosts, allegedly have convinced him to watch The Wire. And he's going to record episodes on that along the way. So that'll be one of the Patreon shows. I've gotten into collecting VHS tapes, half from what we found in storage, and then half from going to thrift stores and whatnot. You can see a little collection behind me here.
Yeah.
And we're starting what's called the VHS Lounge, where one of the guys or gals comes in, goes through the little library, picks one out like the video store, and we sit and watch it. And afterward, we record for about an hour, just kind of kick around some thoughts and ideas as we had fun watching the movie. So that'll be one of the other little bonus shows. So little things like that to add on to the universe a little bit.
Are you watching the VHS on a 10-inch TV?
Oh no, that's the beauty of it, is I got it set up to an 80-incher. So it's like modern technology and then a VCR. So it gets this grainy kind of drive-through effect to it. The sound crackles. You have to convince the person you're with that it's aesthetically pleasing.
It's like vinyl, isn't it? Yeah, it's better this way.
No, it's better this way. It's like, what? The shit sound, shit vision, and like that crackling noise. But yes, it's like crackles like a fire, like a campfire.
That is nostalgia. That's what you can hear.
Absolutely.
That's what that is.
Absolutely.
You're also a newish dad, Kieran. So congratulations. I know it's a few months in. Now,
3 months.
How is parenthood treating you so far?
It is. I mean, it's great. My wife is amazing, and she's really, really good at what she does. If I were a solo project, I would be very, very lost. But we're very lucky. He's been a good baby so far. He sleeps well and he eats 3 months in, and those are the two most important things
you need to do.
So.
Yeah. It's all about just keeping them alive for that first year, and then you can tick that off, and it's onto the next milestone for sure.
Yeah, but it is everything everyone says it is. It's just a true blessing. So it's been a lot of fun.
And most importantly, Kieran, you and your bar. Tell us about the bar.
Yeah, I run a bar here on Long Island. It's an ale house. We have 26 beers on tap, and it's
Carl's
a good
drooling.
spot.
Stop drooling, Carl. Stop drooling.
It's not even an exaggeration. I'm literally salivating.
It's funny though. We I guess I'll get into it more when we unveil what we're drinking. But Carl was saying like, the selection here in England isn't great, and all we have is these hazy New Englands. And I'm realizing that that's kind of mostly what I drink. So every time I beer, like, that's another shitty hazy New England. Like, God damn. All right. I feel bad now. I'm not flexing the variety.
You should only be drinking West Coast IPAs because we can't get them.
Well, that's what I brought today just for you guys.
Excellent. Good stuff. Kieran, lastly, before we get to unveiling the ale, we do like to ask folks that come on here to reveal their top 4 favorite movies of all time. Now, I don't know if you're a huge Letterboxd user, or you kind of use it to log things as you're going rather than review and everything.
I'm a recent Letterboxd user. I'm pretty diligent now. Whenever I see a movie, I'll put it in there. But I'm more of a logger than a rater.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what I have and go through it. If I've seen a movie more than once and I feel strongly, I'll put a rating in. I tend to be kind of like a softy rater. Like I'll put more 4s and 5s up there than 1s and 2s. And I really try not to rate a movie, especially a new movie, if I've just seen it once, because often I'll find that when I see it again, I just have a very different reaction to it. So,
yeah.
But then there's sometimes I'm pissed off enough. Well, yeah, no, you're getting the 1 star. So,
hey, we built a whole podcast off of rewatching films and reappraising. So it's a fact. So what would you say your top 4, if you had to, water gun to the toe, if you had to?
Yeah, no, and I'm along the lines of you should pick your battles, choose your battles here, and and stick to it. And I have a 4, and it's a firm 4. It's not one that I'm next week gonna fudge around with. And my letterbox 4, I've settled on my number 1 favorite movie of all time, which is The Shawshank Redemption. Sorry if that's basic, but to me, it's.
But we had Heather on here, Heather Stewart, and that is her favorite film as well. But you can't, it's difficult to argue with. Like you watch it, it is just very, very good. It's hard to find fault with it. So
Has it all. I could put it on any time of year, any time of day, and it sucks me in. I have on there what I consider probably the greatest movie of all time in Lawrence of Arabia, David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia. Another one of my favorites there. I'm a big Clint Eastwood head. I've seen all his directed films, so I got to go with his best on there, and that would be Unforgiven. And then finally, the OG Terminator, a little James Cameron in the mix. Original Terminator. I'm a Terminator 1 guy.
What do you make of those 4, Carl?
It's a good list. I haven't actually seen Lawrence of Arabia. That's a gap for me.
That is not one you would put on every day. Whenever you.
Yeah, that's long, isn't it?
Yeah, you build an interval into that one.
But hell of a list. I'm a T1 guy. I get the feeling, Si's never explicitly said this, I get the feeling Si might be a T2 guy.
Yeah, I am a T2 guy, but only because I've probably seen T2 like about 25 times compared to seeing T1 maybe twice. So, it's maybe just a frequency thing. And that was just because it always seemed to be on either on TV or on at friends' houses when I was growing up. So,
yeah, I mean, I would say you're probably in the majority. I mean, it's the bigger, more expensive, more popular movie, but I just love the little world they built in the original Terminator and how much they did with so little.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. I think our listeners have got to know you now, Kieran. So that's great. And it does lead us now to that time of the episode where we get to unveil the ale.
Right. Unfortunately, because I am somewhat tied with this, I have to, I'm trying to pick something that goes with the film. I had plans for this. I thought, I'm going to go source a really good West Coast IPA. I'm going to see if I can get an imported one. Yeah, that didn't shake down. I couldn't find something to relate to the film, so I have gone with a hazy IPA, and it's not perfect because instead of Octagon, this is North Brewing's Heptagon. That's close enough, right?
I mean, yeah. Instead of an Octagon, you've got a Heptagon, whatever. That's
7% DDH IPA. I have got 3 of them. I'm going to drink them all. So wish me luck.
What was the ABV on that?
It's only 7, to be fair.
Solid. So I also have, starting off with a hazy IPA, so Two Tribes Campfire Hazy IPA, 5.2%. But I'm excited that I am going to be moving on to an East Coast IPA. I read that as West Coast when I got it from the fridge. I'm quite disappointed. I literally thought it was West Coast. It says East Coast. Oh, but it's from New School.
You see, Kieran, we cannot get away from these.
Yeah, so it's a Williams Brothers brewing called New School. So I'll get onto that very shortly. What about you, Kieran? What you got?
Yeah, so I have I did bring a West Coast India Pale Ale here, and it was one that was super popular. It's a California beer. It's brewed out of San Diego, and it was super popular around here on the East Coast about 10 years ago or so. But in that time, they've kind of rolled back their distribution. So I think it's still, I think they have like 7 or 8 breweries in California, but still popular out there, but we don't see much of it here. I was able to find a 6-pack of it. It's from Ballast Point, and it's their grapefruit sculpin. Yeah, real. There are a lot of like aquatic types of imagery on their beers, but delicious beer. And don't let the grapefruit part of it deter you if you're not like one of the people who likes fruit in their beers. Really, it's a very, very subtle grapefruit taste. It's a bold hoppy IPA.
I like the grapefruit because it brings the bitterness as well. So it's,
yeah. And I did bring along too a local one. This is from Catskills Brewing, and they're the Catskill Mountains in upstate New York, and it's the Devil's Path. And this is a hybrid East Coast, West Coast. So, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
Indeed. Yeah, no, going back to the Ballast Point, I've had the grapefruit too, but their straight up sculpin is one of my favorite beers.
Delicious. That's tough to find around here. Yeah. That's really, that is a great beer.
Just have to move to California. That's the only thing.
Oh, dear me. Oh, well, cheers.
Cheers, yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the mashup that Kieran has brought forward today. And I can reveal that it is Penny Marshall's 1992 baseball comedy drama, A League of Their Own, mashed with Sam Raimi's 1995 Western action drama, The Quick and the Dead, which, of course, makes Gavin O'Connor's 2011... It's written as a boxing action drama. It's not boxing, is it? Like MMA action drama, Warrior. But hey, that's what we've got. It's pure, great start. It's a great looking mash. One I very much enjoyed. So good work, Kieran. Off to a very good start. Now to get the ball rolling, we're going to go around the room and give our initial thoughts on the movies being mashed, where it sits on our simple 5-point scale, and how we thought that they would fit into the resultant film before we re-watch them. Now, just a reminder for everyone out there and for Kieran, our simple 5-point scale is very simple. You either really like it, you're ambivalent, you don't like it, or you really don't like it. Now, reminder, this is not how good the film is. This is pure vibes, how much you like it. So let's start with A League of Their Own. And for those not familiar, a little summary. It's as America's stock of athletic young men is depleted during World War II, a professional all-female baseball league springs up in the Midwest, funded by a publicity-hungry candy maker, Walter Harvey. Competitive sisters Dottie Hinson, Gina Davis, and Kit Keller, Laurie Petty, spar with each other, and grumpy has-been coach Jimmy Duggan, Tom Hanks, on their way to fame. All right, Carl, going to start with you. A League of Their Own. What do you make of it?
I'd never seen it.
Ooh.
It was an easy like. Yeah, I like this. Easy like. Gina Davis is tremendous in this. I love Laurie Petty. In Point Break, I think she's quite possibly the sexiest woman alive in that movie. Even Bloody Madonna is pretty decent in this. Great story. It's got some classic 90s sincerity to it, which is something I identify with a lot. And because it really means it, it does allow it to carry it off what it is, which, let's face it, is a very, very sanitized sort of version of that story. But it's very fun, very uplifting, very nice. I'll be watching it again soon. I told my eldest about it, and she can't wait to watch it. So I'll get a second viewing in soon enough. The only thing that annoyed me a little bit about it is Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Tom Hanks is top billing. He's centre on most of the posters. Loads of the reviews call him out as being the best thing about the movie. And I thought his character was a bit of a big nothing. I love Tom Hanks, but like I'm reading all these reviews and I'm like, did you just not see Gina Davis or 7 to 8 of the other women? In terms of the mash, great shout. Sport as a setting, 2 siblings going against each other. And of course, it's not really about the game at all, which is very Warrior. I think I can speak for Simon a little bit here. He can correct the record if he likes. When you sent this mash through, certainly I was a bit like, okay. I mean, I love The Quick and the Dead, spoiler alert, so all right. But then I've watched them, and I just think, yeah, this is what we fucking play for, boys. This is what we play for. This really works. So this is the game. So yeah, really good.
Brilliant. Oh, that's awesome.
Kieran, what do you make of A League of Their Own?
Well, for starters, just off the Mash end of it, when we talked about me coming on here, I had the things I laid out for myself was, one, I'm picking movies I like. I'm not going to get anything I don't like. Two is I'm going to pick something just crazy and weird that, and three, I want to come up with a combination that I'm pretty sure if you had 1,000 people on, they'd never pick it. Those are like the parameters that I came with. So this is going to be a very positive section of likes and all that here. I really like this movie. There's a ton of nostalgia here with me. A huge baseball fan, played, coach still. It's a big part of my life. This is a movie I saw in theaters, so I've always kind of had this as a part of my life. And we covered it on the show. It won our sports tournament. So what we'll do from time to time, we'll do different tournaments throughout the year, put them out on social media, people vote, and then whatever wins, whoever drafted it hosts the show and comes on. And this was the winner of the sports tournament. And then I revisited again for this. It's like every time I throw this movie on, there's a bigger and bigger smile on my face. So I can't say enough about it. You highlighted Gina Davis, and John Lovitz is just he's on fire for the first act of this thing, and then just walks off into the sunset.
That's really good.
Giving the wife a tickle pickle.
Yeah.
Pickle tickle, not tickle pickle.
Oh, sorry.
Get back under the cow. Just a blast. David Strathairn, I love. Hanks, it's funny that Hanks annoyed you in this. There's like an iconography with it that I just have always known, the no crying in baseball, the we're gonna win, the spitting, the peeing, like all of that. It's just kind of it's just indoctrined with my memories of this. So I appreciate the take, and maybe front billing him. I could see how that could be a little eye rolling if you're watching it now and visiting it now for the first time. He's supposed to be Jimmy Fox, who's an old Hall of Famer, who was at the end of his career and thrust into managing women's baseball. I do think it's important to have that type of figure in a movie like this, because it would be unfair to their experience if you didn't show the struggles of having to then play the game under this just stubborn, obtuse manager who's just real rough around the edges and anything other than what a woman should be comfortable playing with. So the top billing and all that, it might have gone a little in with that. So that is an interesting perspective on it. I really like this one though. That's a double thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever system we're using.
Was there anything else you were thinking when you brought this forward for the Mash beyond what Carl had said in terms of the sports battle of the siblings and that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's the sibling rivalry. There's a touch of parenthood in this one with the Marla Hooch character, and there's family dynamics that we'll see throughout, even just beyond the sibling rivalry with it. I love what you said about the sport not being what it's about in the end. There's also the people who suggest that she dropped the ball at the end on purpose. So the letting her win versus, what we see at the end of Warrior and how the final fight plays out, when it comes down to it and it's the finals and it's the two of you head to head, how do you handle that as an older brother? Cool older younger sibling dynamics in this one, and just both all in all out sports films.
Fantastic. So for me, again, I've written this is an easy, it's verging on a really for me. I hadn't seen this for years and years. I watched it as a kid. I have vague memories of it, but nothing distinct. And as I'm watching it, there's things that I'm going, this is either penetrated culture or I'm remembering this as it's coming up. So there's no crying in baseball. Has that penetrated the zeitgeist of? Is it a thing that has done it, or is it just something that sort of felt familiar as I was watching it? The pissing gag, which is just. I didn't realize Austin Powers ripped that off from this. I thought Austin Powers had invented that gag. Apparently not. But that was just straight up hilarious. It has that humor. It has the heart. It made me strangely emotional watching it for the first time,
Mm.
to the point that there almost was crying in baseball, ironically. And I think it captures that 1940s Americana style beautifully, and almost without exception. I think the main and major supporting characters are like distinct. They're interesting, and they kind of all have their own moments, which seems increasingly rare. Gina Davis, we've talked about, she's just absolutely beautiful in this. I don't want to come across as a dirty perv, but just brilliant. And her stoicism holds it all together as well. Madonna's great. Rosie O'Donnell is great.
Yeah.
And I'm totally on board for Hanks here as well. I do get what Carl's gripe a little bit. But yeah, David Strathairn, I found John Lovett's the Abrasive Scout hilarious. As you say, he comes in, he does his thing, he departs, and it's just fantastic. And I think I just really like good sports movies. I'm a complete sucker for them. And so I was, lapping this up. Thank you.
I just want to throw out there too. There's really good baseball in this. Like they get the sport right. There's a lot of times you see some of a more niche sports movie, they'll have to pull away from the actual action. But no, they got women who can really play the game. And there's never a moment where I'm watching this as someone who's very into baseball that it takes me out of it. It looks natural to the sport, especially at that time.
Okay, and in terms of the fit, when I initially had this, to pick up on Carl's earlier point, I was very much of the, all right, cool. I mean, I'm sure that does work. I guess there's a sporting aspect there. I'd not seen The Quick and the Dead at this point, so I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. I trust you. But yeah, I mean, I initially thought sports, battle against the odds as well, overcoming the adversity side of things. And then the Battle of the Siblings, I'd actually forgotten about this part before the rewatch. It was that dawning moment of, oh, this is part of why Kieran's picked this. Wow. Oh, okay, it makes sense now. One thing that you guys didn't mention, and just in case we do never speak about this again, which I hope we do, but the older versions of all the characters.
Oh yeah,
what the hell? How did they cast that? They're incredible.
Yeah, no need for it to be that good.
No, there's also a cheat in there too, because Gina Davis is running the vocal track.
Oh, really?
So there's a little, so it makes you think that it's a little closer to this. So the older actress there is actually lip syncing the lines, and Gina Davis is doing the ADR. So that definitely is a little bit of a tease and a mind game to make you think they're closer. But yeah, they really took that pretty seriously, and I respect them for it. It's better than like a Netflix AI aging,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about A League of Their Own?
No, I mean, if you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor and treat yourself. I think it's on Netflix as we speak, but
yeah, it's family friendly as well to a degree.
Yeah,
as long as you remind the odd curse word, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's one of those where the stuff they play up for adults, I think, would go over a younger kid's head.
Yeah, the pickle tickle. You'd like to think they wouldn't understand that, considering that. Considering I heard my son gaming with his friends and just repeatedly saying, "Hey, dude, I'm teabagging you. I'm teabagging you. I'm teabagging you." I'm just like, oh, it must mean something different nowadays.
It probably means the same thing.
All right, let's move on to The Quick and the Dead. And for those not familiar, this is about a mysterious woman played by Sharon Stone who comes to compete in a quick draw elimination tournament in a town taken over by a notorious gunman played by the big dog, Gene Hackman. Now, Carl, you want to kick things off again? It's got Gene Hackman in it, so it's definitely going to be a like of some description coming on here.
Yeah, I really like this film. First and foremost, what a cast. Leo is perfectly cast as the precocious upstart. Absolutely perfect for him at this age. I think Stone's terrific as that fierce female lead. This is Crow's first Hollywood film, and he just looks like a star from the off. I've read that, Stone got him the gig. I think that's pretty widely accepted. Yeah. But I've read in particular that the line the way she sort of tells it is, you've got to put, I've seen this guy, he's so good looking, you've got to put him in this film.
Never happened to me, just to be clear. No one has ever said that. You must do this. He's so good looking.
Maybe if you look like Russell Crowe, it might...
things would be a lot different in my life.
Yeah. And then Gene Hackman, you mentioned. Gene Hackman's so good, and actually, his performance in particular, I think, sort of embodies why this film works so well, because it's like over the top, like for sure. You know, you've got these like crazy, exaggerated zooms, and some of the violence is almost cartoonish. But everyone is committing to this completely deadpan. They're taking it completely seriously. Very, very 90s, just with the fun dialed up a bit. So it really, really works. I think the tournament is a plot device. Such a good way to get a massive cast of characters together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you get all of this sort of like the different and colourful characters in their own quick way. I mean, Tobin Bell, brilliant. Lance Henriksen, what a great villain Lance Henriksen was back in the day. Absolutely brilliant. And Keith David. I know you'll like Keith David in this, Simon.
Oh, just love seeing Keith David pop it up.
Again, feels very, very 90s. I can think of a couple of films around that time that use this sort of this tournament plot device. In terms of the MASH, the tournament format, obviously, it creates this sort of heightened arena where you've got the rivalry and they're playing out some of the trauma as a spectacle. That personal history is forced into in the same way that Warrior does it. There's a smaller link with a particular type of conflict because, there's a bit of daddy issues kicking around.
Yeah, the daddy issues.
And I say a smaller link because that's a pretty thin conceit in this film. It's very engineered compared to what we go through in Warrior, but it's there. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good shout for the MASH. I really like it.
Kieran, over to you.
Oh yeah, I really, really like this one, guys. It's Sam Raimi. I mean, Sam Raimi, he has a style of filmmaking that is absolutely not going to be for everybody. But I'm a huge fan of talk about originals, the original Evil Dead. Love Evil Dead, and I know most people like Evil Dead too, but I go back to the OG on that one. Another kind of low budget, high concept kind of situation. If you want to tie it into what we said with Terminator. Give me a tournament, man. Come on, let's have a tournament. Throw it down. WWE King of the Ring days. Let's go. So that's the easy one. Now there's definitely going to be nostalgia here with me. So that could sway things a little bit to a biased sense there, because this is one of the first rated R movies I saw as a kid. I think the actual first one I saw was Speed. And this is going to be like in the same year where I saw this.
Speed rated R.
Yeah. The poor old woman gets thrown under the bus and there's F-bombs all over the place. I think it gets decapitated in it too. So it's you're a kid watching a rated R movie the first time. This is the one to see, because you got a tournament, you got a shootout. The clock strikes and we fire, and then the second round, it's to the death. Like, the stakes have been raised. I had so much fun revisiting this thing. It was going to be one of those where like I prepared myself to be disappointed. Yeah. Okay, I just probably have built this thing up in my head to be a little bigger than it is, and now I've committed to this podcast, and I'm like, God. And I just couldn't be more of the opposite reaction. I loved every second of it, and I ended it. I think I just simply wrote on Letterboxd, I don't see what anyone else more could want in a film. Like, what more do you want in a film? It's hokey. You said with the zooms and the Dutch angles, it's very hokey and all that. That's Sam Raimi's kind of comic book style that he brings. He did the Spider-Mans also. I just left it and was like, not every film has to be an A24 over the top, like every little moment matters kind of thing. We can have fun with these things too. And the cast, you mentioned the cast. I mean, it just Gary Sinise in there too, is in the flashbacks for no reason. You could have you could have picked a stock actor and like, let's get another Academy nominated person in there. You have 3 winners and another 3 nominees, or another 2 nominees, because you have Leo Hackman and Crow are all winners. Stone and Sinise are nominees. And that might be it with the nominees. But then you have Jigsaw in there. You have Keith David. It's just
you got Old Man Marley from Home
Alone.
Marley.
Yeah, Robert's Blossom in there. Yeah, it's just the best, man. I love it. Tying in with of course the tournament is the obvious one there. And what both movies do, and we'll talk about it more with Warrior, is tournaments are fun and all, but you have to manage the repeat appearances. Vince McMahon famously in the WWE, they did, I think in one of their early WrestleManias, they did a full tournament, and he stayed away from that for a while because they're all about the entrances. And Macho Man Randy Savage has the big, graduation day music theme and comes out, and he's like, you do that 3 times, you lose the audience. So same deal here with this and with Warrior. You have to manage that properly. And both movies switch up the styles of the gunfights and the UFC fights, keep it fresh. This one we're tapping out, this one we're getting a knockout, this one's going a couple rounds. Same thing with the shootouts. This one, the gun malfunctions, this one just he's toying with him. He does it like a cat and a mouse. The other one, boom, bang, the guy's dead. You have to know when to make it a quick knockout and when to kind of drag it on and make a drama. And this movie manages to do it and stay fun and fresh. And it's a movie I could comfortably recommend to anyone. And even if they don't like it, I'm still sitting here happy I recommended it to you, because you should see it because it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, this was a first watch for me, so big thank you, Kieran, for making me watch it.
I mean, I've been trying to get him to watch it for ages.
Have you actually?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've mentioned it loads, but you know,
literally never heard of it before. Kieran mentioned it. I'll be
honestly.
It's a little bit of a unheralded deep track for some reason. I don't know how it's not remembered more.
That's probably exactly what I said to Simon. It slept on this, Simon. You should watch this. Also, it's one I like, and if you don't, we can do it on the podcast. Never mind.
I'm afraid we can't do it on the podcast because it was an easy like for me. For me, this is a movie that is completely made by Gene Hackman's performance on its own. The absolute commitment. I think, Carl, you mentioned everyone being committed, but I think Gene Hackman, absolute commitment to this. He does an evil piece of shit just fantastically well. And I think without him in that role, I don't think this would have worked half as well. All the other supporting actors and actors are great too, don't get me wrong. But Carl says that I am Mr. Style over Substance. I think this is the ultimate style over substance. There's not a great deal going on here, but it's such an enjoyable romp with some visual flair that you guys have already mentioned. And it's a real pleasure to see an early Leo, early Crow performance as well. Both cast beautifully in those respective roles. Plus, I'm continuing my horn dog role for today, but I've never really got the whole Sharon Stone thing before. But dang, those scenes that gave me a funny feeling in my tummy.
This is peak Stone right here. Yeah,
just when she's waking up with the hair tousled and
made you really go funny, didn't it?
It did.
Taking Stone literally.
Yeah. But yeah, first watch for me. So all I knew is that there was a tournament aspect. So that was all I was thinking that came into this. But there are plenty of other elements, I think, which particularly talking plot-wise, which I look forward to discussing. Another thing, this film really made me want to drink. I mean, like more than usual, but there's something about the drinking in this that I was just like, it just made me very thirsty. I don't know if this was shared by anyone else.
It's got that sweaty, dusty, that sweaty, dusty quality about it.
Yeah, even though the drinks looked like absolute shit, but it still made me thirsty.
I just want to echo what you said about Gene Hackman. I mean, I would imagine that acting is really pretty hard. Just memorizing all those lines and all that. I don't know of an actor that makes acting look easier. I mean, he looks like he can roll out of bed and do whatever you put in front of him. And like you said, he's just an easy piece of shit in this movie. Boom, just roll right into it. Yeah. And this is as star-studded a cast as a movie that has no business having as star-studded a cast as it does.
Yeah.
All right, so time for a deep dive into Warrior, the result of our mashup. And again, for those not familiar with Warrior, again, go watch it. The youngest son of an alcoholic returns home where he's trained by his father for a competition and mixed martial arts tournament, a path that puts the fighter on a collision course with his estranged older brother. I do like these letterbox summaries because sometimes they are way off what what the film's really about as well. That was not too bad.
Yeah, that was not too bad.
I'm going to start off with this, and I've been an easy like for the two films making this, but I really like this one. Watching this for the first time since I saw it in the cinema on initial release, and I quickly started to get that feeling of just remembering familiarity of how much I like this on first watch. As already mentioned, I'm a sucker for a good sports movie, and I think this is up there as one of the absolute best. Like, I would put it up in the same tier, maybe not above, but in the same tier as Rocky. Its gritty realism complements the batshit crazy unrealistic plot, which doesn't matter. The leads are great, the fight choreography is awesome, and I absolutely lap this up and can't wait to find out what you guys think and talk about more of it with you. Kieran, what do you make of it?
Wow. So I had only seen Warrior once. Remembered liking it, but just liking it. Was a movie. Oh yeah, that's a good movie. But they had the tournament thing going on. So this was the second time I visited it, and I was blown away this time around. Really, really to the point where I looked at it and confidently said that I think this is my favorite movie of 2011. I looked at this and man, this movie knocks my effing socks off. I mean, they set the stakes up perfectly. They build all the characters around, and by the time we get to Atlantic City and we're in this thing, boy, I mean, you can't leave the couch. You can't leave the couch watching this movie. It's absolutely. and if you don't feel something watching this movie, you see a doctor or something. I don't know. To me, it is an emotional gut punch. Pardon the pun. Yeah, I really really like this, and I'm grateful to be able to come on and do this because there's a gem of a movie that I had been sitting on with one watch and not realizing that it could be one of my favorite sports movies.
Fantastic. Carl, I'm scared.
Well, I'd never seen this before.
Ooh, first watch.
First watch. I'm only kidding. I like it.
The thing, if you didn't like it, the thing I'd be most annoyed about is that I feel like we've wasted one for a canon episode.
I'm only kidding. I like it. Easy like again. I could see this to move into really like in the future, to be honest. Keeping my powder dry for now. Simon and I will discuss this a little more in our retro episode at the end of the month. Edgerton in particular is really great. We'll obviously talk about that a bit more later. I do have a problem with the MMA element of this film. I'm going to bring that up in plot. And funnily enough, Simon, I think we might disagree about why some of this movie is a bit silly.
Ooh,
so we'll see about that, because I don't know if I'm fully on the same page. I don't think I would say the plot is silly. I think there's a decision they make that invites criticism, but otherwise, fine. I think you guys said exactly these words. I think this is a really, really gripping movie. It makes some really smart choices. I think it comes over way better than it could have been. Way better. I think it would have been so easy for this to be just another sports movie, and sort of bucketed in and dismissed easily like that. Having watched it now, I think it's a little slept on. I don't really hear anyone talking about it. I think it's a little slept on. I think it's far more compelling than a movie that slept on deserves to be. Good stuff, yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, just to pick up on one other thing, just while I'm being a filthy perv on Sharon Stone and Gina Davis, which I used to reserve for male characters, to be fair. I mean, I don't care who I perv on when it comes to movies. But Brendan's sexy wife, good lordy. More funny feelings. More funny feelings.
I thought you were going to say Nick Nolte.
No. Different reasons. That's just pure daddy issues. That's separate.
Yeah.
Separate feelings.
Yeah, he's keeping that house. He's keeping that house. He's got to keep her happy.
All right. Well, let's move on to production then, and I'm going to kick things off talking about something that I don't understand. So how it looks. So I absolutely adore how Warrior is shot. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about. That has been made abundantly clear. We've done about 100 episodes by now. No one is in any doubt. But you get that visible grainy quality, VHS style, you could call it, that I assume comes from shooting on celluloid, which together with how the scenes are lit, you've got this very sort of distinct lighting that's in there, gives it this gritty feel. And then you have like the handheld camera usage, which kind of exaggerates that as well, particularly on like the one-on-one like intense emotional confrontations, and in the cage fight scenes as well, where the camera gets right up in their faces. You can see all the little micro reactions with those confrontations. It makes you feel like you're there with them, and like it absolutely swallowed me whole. No, not like that. And then you have like the fight scenes at the tournament and how they're shot, and it combines that same like close-up personal feel with almost like a live TV broadcast, which it kind of like cuts between the two of those, and I just love how they did that. Now, I think if you're an MMA fan, which I'm not a huge MMA fan, like a very, very, very casual watcher of it, but I've read some criticism that the things going on in there are kind of wild, not really realistic. But I think that the way they've done that and interspersed it almost like a documentary like viewing of getting the camera in up and close using the handheld, and then interspersing it with the proper TV live broadcast out, just makes it feel real. And I just loved watching this and seeing how they were using all these different tricks. And for me to notice that sort of thing, it must be like decent, because I don't tend to spot those sort of things. What do you guys think? Am I talking bollocks, or is there something there?
Well said. Well said. The director of photography is Masanobu Takeyanaga.
I'm so glad you said that. There. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. He photographed a Best Picture winner in Spotlight. Hasn't done a ton of. He also did Silver Linings Playbook and Stillwater. So he's a little bit of an unheralded director of photography. But I totally agree, and it is one of the secrets that people don't tell you about like sports fighting is that it's largely very boring. Boxing is not an exciting sport as much as Rocky and some of Raging Bull and some of these movies might trick you into thinking. And MMA is not far behind. Once they made the appropriate rules to make it safe to do, it stopped really kind of being exciting. Now, MMA fans are probably getting angry at me right now. I don't love MMA either. It's just not my thing. When you get a good fight, it's fun and moments are exciting, but a lot of the time it's just sort of a couple people like hugging
guys rolling on a mat, hugging each other tight.
Yeah.
You're describing all of sport there, though. This isn't just any fighting or any particular thing. Like anybody who watches sport, you watch it for the moments, you watch it for the payoffs, and you endure. I mean, I'm a big football fan, big soccer fan. Mm-hmm. You endure some horrible matches for those last minute winners, and nothing will happen, and you watch them, and then the last minute goal goes in, and it's all worth it. That is just sport. Yes. So it's not just combat sports. It's not just boxing, MMA.
Right.
Yeah, you're describing all of sport there. I'll sort of jump in on this, right? Because I think the people who criticize sport films, like MMA fans, they're gatekeeping. Mm-hmm. They're going like, "Oh, you don't get my sport that I'm into. This is all wrong. This is for us. You can't have it," sort of thing. And really, they should take it for what it is, which is almost like a love letter to the thing. It's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
And it's a device in a story as well.
Yeah, and the complication in putting a movie together is filming it to make it look super exciting. And listen, this is a fantasy version of MMA. Of course, just in the idea that you can have two fights in a night and then two fights in the next night is ridiculous. But so you have to suspend some disbelief. I know another one of Carl's very favorite movies of all time, Whiplash. But in line with it, Carl's obviously been critical of that movie. I have a couple friends who are super critical of the movie because one's a drum teacher and one's in like a big rock band, and it's like, this is not how scholastic drum. It's like, all right, guys, well, come on, they're there's a little bit of an allegory going on here. Like, can you just like stop, like take yourselves a little less seriously for a moment here? But it is funny that I've heard more people criticize Whiplash recently. I think it's reached that 10-year mark. So Carl's getting his army together, I guess. But this is going to be another one. MMA fans are probably like, well, this is ridiculous. But I will say, just on that thought, original MMA did one-day tournaments when it was like illegal in half the states in America and incredibly unsafe and unhealthy. They did actually do tournaments like this. So it is based in some reality here. Probably not to the scale that the movie puts out there. But
yeah, the other side of it as well, which taps into what you've just said about, well, actually there is a truth, a foundation in truth on this, which I don't want to talk too much because I'm talking a bit of my plot notes here, but sport is ridiculous. Sport is completely unbelievable at points.
True.
Like there are things that have happened in sport that screenwriters wouldn't dare touch because nobody would believe them.
Yeah,
you know. So actually, to write sport is tricky because you've got to pitch it at the right level where, well, I've got to live with the reality of sport so that it's believable in a sporting endeavor, but also I can't make it too unbelievable because then nobody will buy it. So it's tricky. For me, this one's absolutely fine. Like I say, I've got some other points in plot that touch it and some sort of adjacent ground, but I didn't mind the depiction of the fights and whatnot in this at all. I thought it was quite good.
What did you guys make of the obligatory training montage?
Very Rocky IV.
It was very Rocky IV, right? Yes.
Give me a montage. Why should be a montage in every movie? Just lap off 15 minutes. Give me a montage.
Very Rocky IV. You've got old school hill running on one side versus the classical musical inspired Zen, much more modern approach on the other.
Yeah, because you've got like those multiple panels that keep on shifting around and stuff. And I wrote at the time, I was just like, this. I don't even know if Rocky used exactly that sort of thing, but it just reminded me of Rocky. Just those seeing both sides of the two sides of the same coin at the same time. This, in terms of the mash, right? This looks completely different to either of the two mashed films. If we're looking for commonality here, I struggle to see anything from how it looks.
Yeah, this is the director is Gavin O'Connor, who's kind of like not a household name by any means, but done some sport movies in the past. He did Miracle, the hockey movie, a couple others. I don't have off the top of my head.
Not to jump the gun on a section we're going to get into later, but if you were looking for an aesthetic or something, you're going to be looking at something like Raging Bull. Now, I mentioned that here because I'd be amazed if both the director, photographer, and the director didn't take at least some inspiration for Raging Bull for the fight scenes. I mean, the tournament format is a brilliant plot device. It's a great choice to frame this story because it creates like a structure that everybody knows and understands, and it builds in some stakes because you go, well, we know he's going to have this fight at this point. What happens in between, we're not quite sure, but then he's going to ramp up and then it's going to ramp up again. And, you can see it coming. Inevitably, the brothers are going to meet, or they're going to fall agonizingly short or whatever. But so there's an inbuilt tension there. That's brilliant. It's a great plot device. Echo what you said, Simon, about the camera. But the thing I took away from it was faces. So many close-up faces. Really, really good. But the Raging Bull note, yes, there's that dark aesthetic, but also the way that Raging Bull, every fight is different in that film. And they're all shot a little bit differently. I'm not saying that's necessarily going on here, but like they are at pains to paint a different story with each one of those fights, and that is something that's happening here. And it's a great plot device to do that. It's a great framework to do that, but they don't take it for granted. They make sure that there's a story to come out of each fight, something that you're going to take forward.
Yeah, and I would build on that with that fight choreography that they have done to make them feel distinct and different. I think it's just awesome how they've choreographed this. It's not Rocky style punches which look clearly like they are going nowhere near the guy's head, right? And it's just your head flashing back. This looks pretty real. Like it's very impressively done. And I was watching on the Blu-ray extras, right? They just kind of like storyboarded, and they were getting Hardy and Edgerton to sort of go through some of the moves. And even when they were doing it in, not at full speed and just doing it, the way they'd done it still made it look like they were hitting each other, even in that sort of blocking things out. It's very impressively done. And Kieran, you touched on this as well, about how you stop it feeling repetitive. So decisions that they make, like in Brendan's second fight, decided to basically, they just show the highlights, so you get the gist of it. They've shown the first fight where it was very up and down, and you get right into it. The second fight, they kind of brush over it. They just kind of show some key points. You get the key beats of it, but you move on quite quickly. And I think that's just a great decision, because it keeps it fresh with so many fights, particularly with Brendan's fights, because they're longer than Tommy's fights, which last like 12 seconds. And I think that helps with you not just going, all right, yeah, it's the same beats, it's the same thing. Yeah, he's looking down. Oh, he's coming back and he's won. Oh, there we go. It still feels fresh and surprising.
Really, really smart writing on all of that. Just one final production note from me, and a great shot of Hardy when he's first coming into the ring for his first fight, I think it is. I mean, Hardy's not a tall guy at all. He's smaller than Edgerton. The traps on the guy, amazing. Like, he's got these huge traps, and they shoot him low down. The shadows on the shot are amazing, and he looks like this hulking guy who's about to go into the ring.
Unbelievable presence to him. I mean, we see it in Dark Knight Rises, and I don't know if you guys are fans of The Revenant. I am. I'd have to defend that movie left and right, but he's another just a physical presence to the guy.
Yeah. Just really, really well portrayed.
And I didn't even know he wasn't a tall guy until you said it. So you wouldn't know by looking at him on screen. He looks larger than life. So
yeah, I think he's only about 5'8", 5'9", something like that.
No, that's why
I know that on the Dark Knight Rises they did a lot of sort of staging. I think he wore lifts in some scenes as well to try take him up to Bale's height. I don't know if Bale's particularly tall, but when you've got the suit and the ears and everything, there were some issues in trying to
you've got to balance them in. You've got to factor in the ears, Carl. A lot of people don't factor in the ears. You've got to factor in the
exactly. Trying to balance them in stature and whatnot. But again, they've done a great job. It really works.
You talked about, Carl, the close-ups on the faces. I think you're having 3 actors as well. They've all 3 of them got very interesting faces.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like Nick Nolte is like a old Clint Eastwood. Where you could put Nick Nolte's face on the wall and you could just stare at it for hours, just tracing those lines, and the cragginess of it. It's just a fantastic face. And Edgerton's, I think he'll probably look a little like that when he gets to that age as well. I think he's got a cragginess about him.
Well, look at Train Dreams.
Train Dreams,
Train Dreams. Edgerton's got those like wonderful, strong cheekbones, and he's got quite small eyes as well. So they're like, they look like sort of coals in the snow, almost sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think those close-ups then, because they're not just like traditionally pretty people. You know what I mean? They're interesting, handsome looking people. Like even with Hardy as well. Like Hardy's lips are very unusual, and he's very interesting looking. So all those close-ups, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm well into this. You're not just like looking at what's his face, Butler.
Yeah, which you got to have, because we're talking. Leave the sport alone. I mean, no one who's gone through the ringer in UFC is going to come out with a pretty looking face.
That's true. Yeah.
But you're representing that middle to lower class, the working class, struggling to keep afloat. You have the military. So there's a rugged nature that you need to maintain throughout this film. And I know there's a whole segment on casting later, which I'm still pulling my hair out about, because casting in this movie is pretty brilliant. Even like the UFC coach, Edgerton's coach is really well cast. I mean, the guy, and he's got a great look to him. Yeah. And everyone in this film comes forward to the camera to present their character in a way that you're going to believe as an audience member that this person's been through the ringer and is ready to go through the ringer again. And in a sports movie like this, that's just an essential quality.
Yeah, they've all lived, haven't they? Pretty clearly, when you
Yes.
when you see their faces, they've all lived.
Yeah, and from the very opening shot, right, it sets you in that world because it's like this big sort of helicopter overhead shot of factories and industry and stuff, and it places you straight into this gritty working class world before it then goes straight into that great scene, which we'll talk about in plot that opens up the movie. So yeah, like it all kind of fits together. Atlantic City, Kieran.
Know it well.
I was going to say, I've never been. I imagine that you have many a time.
I have. It's a world-class shithole.
This is what I was going to ask. My impression of it was just a budget, grimy Vegas. And that's saying something, right? Considering how grimy Vegas is anyway.
I went all the time in the mid 2000s, like right in college and right after college. It's about a 3-hour drive from me, so it's easy enough. At one point, they had a train that went direct from Manhattan to Atlantic City. I don't think people chose to ride it, so they stopped. But no, it is. You can have a fun time there, and I did see one of my favorite Metallica shows there. I have to say. So you can have a good time in Atlantic City.
It's an interesting choice to set it there. Like they could have set it in Vegas, but they do it in Atlantic City, which kind of just takes it that next rung down in
which
terms
is smart.
Of the grittiness. Yeah, which I think
is a smart move.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, guys, you ready for a game?
Ready for a game?
Okay, so
I've been firing myself up all day. I've been hitting the punching bag, the whole deal. I've had my trainer running me around the block.
It's funny. If you look, I mean, technically the score is me 3, the guests 3. Okay. If you interrogate my wins, it's a sketchy record to say. It doesn't stand up to scrutiny. My record, I don't think.
Well, I'm as I said before, a big baseball fan, so we tie in with League of Their Own. This is Game 7 then. Here we are. Yeah, this is the Game 7 rubber match. A lot of pressure going on here.
Hello. Quick editor's note to say that I don't know what happened to the audio in the game. It got a little screwed up. So I've done my best to piece it back together. See if you can figure out who won. Cheers.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the time of the episode where we pick Carl against our guests for this week and test their movie knowledge in a game somewhat related to the movies covered in the episode. Now, as Carl mentioned, it's 3-3 at the moment. Now, because this mashup, it's a very family-focused mashup this week. So this game is all about family.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is the first time, Kieran, that I've done requests for a song.
Wow, he took it.
I feel quite certain you're going to regret it, but here's the song.
Yes.
I've never chosen a song this way, but when Kieran asked, I couldn't say nay. All these films, they just say that family matters. A foe Carl seeks and he finds in you. Every game facing someone new. He's won some and he's lost a few. Let's play Family Matters.
Yeah.
Solve the clues from what I say.
Amazing.
Name the siblings, that's the game. Making films is what they do. Buzzing to answer when you know. When you know. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, I've got so many uncomfortable flashbacks to me singing this song drunk in various places right now.
Now you've got new lyrics to sing, so yeah, delighted.
You were going to be judged on whether you belted out a Hetfield, yeah, and you did, and that was it. You gave it to me in the end, so that's well done.
I do have 5 famous pair of movie siblings, numbered 1 to 5. I'll gradually reveal facts that help to identify the movie siblings. Now, these are people involved in the movie industry, so we're not talking about characters in movies. We're talking about real life people. All you need to do is when you think you know who I am describing, you shout out your name to buzz in. So, Carl, you will shout.
Carl.
And Kieran, you will shout.
Kieran.
Okay, gentlemen. Let's go to war! Kieran, do you want to pick a number 1 to 5? Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with 1. Let's start where it all starts.
Carl will be pleased.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. So they have been in 10 movies together. The first being in 1983. One of them has 2 Oscar nominations for Best Supporting Actress. Between them, their lowest rated film is Singularity, with a letterbox score of 1.6. Their highest rated collaboration is Broadcast News, with a rating of 4.0. Their biggest box office successes are 2012 and Toy Story 2, respectively.
Carl.
Yeah.
Joan Cusack and John Cusack.
Correct. Kieran gets, I think Carl was just a step
Ahead of
behind you there. I think he was nearly there. But yeah, there
Broadcast
you go.
News. I'm like, what?
All right. Carl, where do you want to go next?
Number 2, please.
Number 2. Okay. All right. They first worked together in 1984. Their lowest rated film between them is Gambit, released in 2012 with a rating of 2.7 on Letterboxd. Their most commercially successful movie brought in $252 million worldwide, and it's a period drama / Western. They have both won 4 Oscars.
Kieran.
Go.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Is it the Afflecks?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. So they have both won 4 Oscars and been nominated for 11 others. Their most popular movie on Letterboxd is No Country.
Carl.
The Coen brothers.
Come on,
Kieran.
Carl, you've got to be quicker than this.
I was stuck on actors.
Yeah, I buzzed in before I settled on the multiple Oscar wins because I was thinking Casey and Ben, but Ben and that the Western there. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
All right, Kieran, which number do you want to go for next? You got 3, 4,
Let's
5.
go for number 3. Let's do it.
It's a good, solid choice.
Marching right along.
It's good.
Okay.
Happy with this, if nothing else.
So they first appeared together in 1993 in a movie directed by their father. Their main collaboration came in 2001 in a psychological drama with a little bit of time travel. Both these siblings have been nominated for Oscars in supporting roles. Neither of them have an Oscar win. One of them does have a nomination for writing from 2022. He has grossed $2.8 billion as a lead actor.
Carl.
These are the Gyllenhaals.
Is the Gyllenhaals?
Yeah,
I would never have got that, to be fair.
Make and Jaggy, as I was about to say. Jake and Maggie. Oh,
Kieran.
it's a whitewash so far. You've got to play for Pride now.
Yep, never mind.
All right. Do you want to go 4 or 5, Carl?
I'll go 4, please.
All right. Oh, just to finish off the list, the film they appeared in together in 2001 is Donnie Darko, was the last clue.
And their dad directed them, did you say?
Yeah. When they were like kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's a director. He's done some films, and they appeared in two of those films together.
I guess he doesn't have any talent either.
Oh, you know, Jake. I mean,
No,
Gyllenhaal or
no.
Gyllenhaal? Like, I can never remember.
No. And
You
she ruined The Dark Knight, so
I don't know. Is she not an upgrade on old Side Smile?
nah, give me Katie Holmes all day, every day.
Have you seen Anne Hathaway's impression of Katie Holmes? By the way, I think I sent it to Carl.
Oh, it's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I got to see that. That sounds
Yeah, I'll send it on afterward, Kieran. Okay. Number 4, Carl, did you say?
Yes, please.
Yep. Okay. They have appeared in multiple films together, the first being in 1998. Between them, they have won Oscars for writing, producing, and acting.
Carl.
Is this the Afflecks?
This is
Yeah.
the Afflecks. All right, number 5. Here we go. You've got to get one, but this is the Ashes now.
Kieran.
You've got to get one just so it's not complete humiliation, but still
Okay.
pretty much humiliation. Okay, both made their film debuts together in 1996 in Bottle Rocket.
Okay.
One has gone on to get himself an Oscar nomination he shared with a regular collaborator. Kieran's waving.
Carl.
Kieran, these are the Owen and Luke and Owen Wilson.
It is Luke and Owen Wilson. Very good. You got it from Bottle Rocket?
Once you said the Oscar thing, because I knew Owen Wilson is bizarrely nominated for, I think, writing the Tenenbaums, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And I knew Luke was in Bottle Rocket. I'm not a Wes Anderson guy at all.
Well,
Carl.
you've absolutely wiped the floor with
Kieran.
I mean, I think Carl.
Sorry,
the
Carl.
first
Well,
one.
I'll carry out with the broken arm, Carl. I'm sorry. I'm not going to gloat. I'm not going to gloat.
Yeah.
No. Kieran's just going to go and pop the other one out. That's what he's going to do. Finish him.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. That was Family Matters. It's now Carl 3. Yes, 4. Congratulations, Kieran. All right, Carl, you said you've got plenty of notes on plot. Where do you want to
this
start
is
with
where
plot?
I've got the majority of my notes. I want to talk cheese first of all. It's the whole how much they play up this tournament. I think that is the one mistake the movie makes that I would point to that invites criticism. And it's super frustrating because it's a completely needless decision. So all we really need to know about this tournament is it is a step up from the bums in the parking lot, and it's going to pay his mortgage for 3 months, and then a little bit more, so he can get ahead of himself. That's all. What it does not need to be is this MMA sanctioned, UFC branded all over, 5 million winner takes all, and they say more than once it's going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Like, it doesn't need to be. Sorry, the middleweight champion of the world. Yeah. Like, it doesn't need to be that, because it's ultimately not about the fight. The fighting is all about a vehicle for them to display and deal with their trauma as we move through the film. So I don't agree with what you said earlier, Simon. I don't agree that the plot is ridiculous. I think the plot is perfectly fine, with the caveat that they didn't need to elevate the tournament to such heights.
Yeah, I think the aspects of the ridiculousness when it comes to the tournament bit is that 2 no-names would be even in that tournament of however many it was, that
16
of the best middleweights MMA fighters on the planet. That the idea that two would go into that's the kind of ridiculous part for me.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't need to be so unbelievable that it could be in this tournament, because they've just pitched the tournament too high. It just needs to be a rung up with a slightly smaller.
You know, I think I'm going to brush back on it just because of the genre, and the beauty of the sports genre is the grandeur. I mean, it's kind of like taking a horror movie that's right in the horror groove and saying, like, well, you didn't need to stab him 17 times. It's like, well, yeah, you kind of did. It's, it's the horror genre. This is what we do here. And I think the fact that this is this larger than life thing, of course, would agree, opens itself up to criticism, but I think that's okay. Why not bring in the big scary Russian? Why not have the current middleweight heavyweight champion be the semifinal matchups? Throw the stakes to the moon and then put it in Atlantic City instead of Vegas. So there's a little grittier, because you have this kind of almost like a Dana White character, like but I think that, so the head of it is almost like, I'm taking my personal money because I want to, like, they won't sanction like a tournament, so I'm going to through it myself. And that's actually the director himself plays that role. Yeah, he plays that role. So there is a little bit of this Wild West. And then one of the other ties is that this movie does kind of play like a Western. It has a lot of tropes that tie into like a Western genre, where like the guy coming in out of town, out of nowhere, he's returning in to finish old business, and then the the brothers got to confront him, and then here we have the showdown and the big battle in the end, and then we walk off into the night and the movie ends. So there are some Western tropes in there too. I kind of dig that this is this grand scale sort of thing. I think the movie would have worked in what you're laying out, Carl, too, as well, and maybe might have got more respect.
I think there's like a sweet spot though, right? You don't have to go for the whole. This is middleweight champion of the world. Equally, you don't have to go. Oh no, these are still bums. They're just better bums, and the money's a bit more. You know,
right?
So he fight, a load of UFC guys, like you say, the current champion, the upcoming champion, or this foreign out of town champion, and then he dispatches all those. And somehow the biggest challenge is his brother, who's never fought in the UFC. But through the whole thing, they've set up. So Joel Brendan, he's struggling through every single round. He's had to battle for it.
His face is a mess.
Yeah. By contrast, Tommy is knocked out all and sundry. Like this is a breeze to him. And then he's painted as the big bad guy. And so for me, I'm like, look, I didn't mind it, but like I'm thinking, if I'm doing this, where do I not want to invite criticism? I can easily avoid this by pitching this just a level down, without, I think, killing a lot of what you're talking about, which is we still need a degree of, oh my God, where did this come from? Because this is sport, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And again, this is more about not necessarily what I did or didn't enjoy. This is about when I look at the criticism this has attracted and how difficult it is to write sports movies. Do you just go, we can easily sidestep this. We can do a better job of this. Maybe your take, and maybe it's perfectly valid, is to go, fuck them. This is a sports movie. Lean into it, and let's have fun.
What I love about the juxtaposition of the brothers, because it is completely outrageous to essentially have two people who are not involved to the sport come in and dominate it and have them be brothers. It's an outrageous concept in its nature. But what I love about the juxtaposition of the brothers is you have the older brother who's been in the sport, didn't work for him, was a very league average type of guy, but now he's met this level of desperation in his life, and he's approaching the game in a very intellectual. His coach's whole theory is that if you're patient and wait for your moment, that's when you can strike and find success. And match that with desperation is a very cool concept. It's like patient yet desperate that's a fun sports element to have. And then you have the brother who's the opposite, who is essentially like, it's like the guy who's above the sport, who's just doing it because he's doing it. And it's like if Babe Ruth never played baseball and one day just decides, I'm going to play baseball and just destroy everybody. And then have the two meet in the end. It's a fun juxtaposition, and I think a sports movie has to be fun in the end of the day.
I'd also say it's better than fun as well, right? Because the choices they make with the fighters, but they're really smart and they really work for who these people are and how they wear and deal with their pain, right? So actually, it doesn't make a great deal of sense that Tommy is the striker and Brendan is the grappler, because it was Tommy who was the high school wrestler that was going to go on to compete at the Olympics. Right. So some fight fans out there are going to be going, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't matter. What they did was they made a better decision there, because they go, no, actually, Tommy is going to be the striker, because the way he deals with his trauma and his grief is all outside. It's brutal. It is let it out and be harsh with it. Contrast that to Brendan, who's had to deal with and wear and take his time and do everything. So it makes sense that he's going to have to struggle through fights and grapple. So they're really, really smart choices for who those characters are.
Yeah, just to pick up on your patient and desperate thing there, Kieran, that was actually my Tinder profile headline. But
well done.
In terms of the tournament mechanics, I think do work. So making that reconfrontation with Mad Dog a complete anticlimax, I thought was kind of a semi-genius kind of thing, because they've that's the guy he's built up, and they've gone like, oh, he's mad for it, and he comes on, he's literally he just destroys him again, and you're just like, cool, all right, let's go. Let's move on. And the other sort of most realistic bit I thought was during Brendan's fight with Cobra. And I think this is where it gets super realistic, because the sexy wife turns up. He sees her, and he completely sucks for like 2 rounds. Why? You can't fight with a throbbing erection, can you? You're not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to go there. And he manages, once it subsides over the next 2 rounds, then he gets into control, turns the fight around. So
this says a lot about us, because I thought performance anxiety So, two sides of the same sort of coin there,
Yeah. What a I see. I didn't think of this till you brought it up, Carl. The fact that Tommy has the grappling past. Isn't that a cool character quality where he went through the amateur wrestling system, so he understands how a grappler is going to approach him?
Yeah.
And now he went to the military and as a Marine and and striking is his
strike first, strike hard.
So he knows the mind of the grappler, and that's what he's going to pound into the ground. I kind of like that too.
Yeah. I touch on Frank Grillo again, the trainer.
Yeah.
Just because you brought that fight up, Simon, and I think it's at this point where he gives him the pep talk, where he's going like, "Why are we here?" Is that the bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really smart decision, completely consistent with Grillo's character as a trainer, but a really smart decision again, because it's not like unthinking bravado. It's not like cheesy sports movie stuff. It's really good. It's tapping into the character, like, why are we here? Do you want this or not? And then when we establish like the character, no, yeah, I mean it, I can do it. It's just like, let's fucking go then. And it's at that point you get like, oh no, that's a real. It's not just let's get in his face and scream and we'll like every other sports movie you've seen cheesy motivation. It really
the line that gets me. It's you could almost borderline say it's cheesy, right? But he just looks him in the eyes. He goes, "You don't knock him out, you don't have a home."
yeah,
and it's just like heavy. All right, I was lapping that up, but I think you could look at it as cynical and go like, all right.
But similarly, the line he gives him, I popped his shoulder out. I heard it. Good. I want you to go pop his other shoulder out. Yeah. It's brilliant. Like he's been going all the way through. It's almost like this Zen, the classical music, breathe, wait for your opportunity. But then when the heat's on, suddenly he's like, go kill him. Go finish it. And that's really, really good plotting for a sports movie. It's really, really real. It's really, really useful. It's really, really believable. And you feel it as a viewer, I think.
Can we talk about the intense start to this movie with Tommy being on Paddy's doorstep?
Oof.
Literally, like, it's basically the first scene of the movie, right? You go straight into that, and you get straight. It's a hell of an. You're not eased in gently at all to this. You are straight into his seething hatred and disappointment, betrayal that he has, and the emotional damage is just completely laid bare. And I think this is actually the scene where some of the best lines, best written parts of this film are in there. Where Hardy's character, he says, "So you found God, huh? Oh, that's awesome. Your mom kept calling out for him, but he wasn't around. I guess Jesus was down at the mill forgiving all the drunks. Who knew?" And then just where he said, like, "Oh, not much of a woman's touch around here. Must be tough to find a girl who could take a punch nowadays."
Yeah.
And then just the real cutting one was just at the end, just before he kind of passes out, fall asleep, where he just says, "I think I liked you better when you were drunk."
Yeah, which they return to a couple of times.
They do return to it, yeah. I just thought it's fantastic. That's a hell of a brave. I think it's quite a brave decision to go straight into a movie with that level of intensity,
especially a sports movie. Everybody traditionally wants you to open up with some sort of sporting encounter, don't they?
Yeah, Nick Nolte's character in this and his performance in this really tie this thing together. And as Carl's you were saying before, is like this could just be kind of a fun sports movie that completes this as a great movie.
Yeah.
And I actually don't have a huge history with Nick Nolte either. A lot of his big movies I haven't seen. So this is basically the one that I'm the most tied to. And it's so cutting and devastating, and you feel for where this character is, but you are also left with the weight of who he was and the impact he left on these two brothers and their families. Heavy stuff, tough to handle stuff. The scene of him on not Taron Egerton, Joel Edgerton's front lawn is very tough.
Yeah, heavy, man.
Very tough.
I think all the confrontations in this, of which there are many, are all really great. Paddy at Brendan's house that you just mentioned there, Kieran. Great. It's a great scene. And where he basically, he says he forgives him, but he doesn't trust him.
You get this, like, I have to go home to my family. You don't get to decide that this is the day that we have this big moment. All right. I have my day that I'm living too, and it's going home to my family, and then, the family I've never met. And it's this whole, it is very lived in for a heightened dramatic scene.
Well, I think there's just so much restraint going on in this film, right? Which again, like besides, my sort of I think they maybe overrate the tournament. Restraint for me defines this film and why the sport works so well, why the emotional moments hit so well. Like Nick Nolte's character, Paddy, he almost knows he's never going to be forgiven because he never really loses it. He never really kicks up a fuss and is like, oh, come on. I mean, there's a small moment where he's like, I'm really trying here, sort of thing. But like, he kind of knows that, like, I've done some stuff that, like, there's just no way back from, sort of thing.
And I love that. You know what I love as well? That they don't do like some crappy flashback. You know what I mean? And actually show what he's done and show like him doing things. Because there's no need for it. You get it just from how they are acting with him and reacting to him, and just the hurt and the pain that is shown on their faces throughout it.
Yeah, restraint's a great description. It's the movie. I mean, and I'll say, like, one of my complaints might be that there isn't a payoff with the dad, and they kind of just after his meltdown.
Yeah. So let's go to that, because the ending, right? The very much of the ending, when they're walking out, the two brothers are walking out, and essentially Paddy walks away. He looks at them, and then he kind of just and walks away. What was your kind of interpretation of what that was?
Boy, as you say it like that, I kind of like it now. No, there's a drop off from him melting down and falling off the wagon in the hotel room with
another great
headphones
scene.
and that, and amazing scene, and you get so much into Tom Hardy's character there when he embraces him. But it just, we don't get anything else after that other than him doing like the clapping in the stands, like the security guard of Rudy, and then it just kind of ends. But now that you have me thinking about it, maybe his moment as a father is to see his two sons share their moment. And bro, I'm well enough thinking about it. Walking away and saying, okay, I've done enough. Maybe
that's enough. I think that's what it is. That's enough. That's enough. That'll do, pig. It's the.
I take that back to he sort of knows there's some things he can't undo.
Yeah.
But right then and there, he has a legacy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He goes, well, I might not be involved, but those guys will take it forward.
Yeah. I love the moments of him in the entranceway when Joel Edgerton's going to the ring and he's like, go get him. He's there for him too. And it's not overdone. It's done really well.
Yeah.
And it's literally on the sidelines. He's literally sidelined out there. He's basically peeking over a crowd.
Yeah,
love your son.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
The ending finishes on a really raw, somewhat unresolved note, and I think it's super smart. One, because it pulls back and avoids some Hollywood ending that would get attacked, right, fairly or not.
Right.
But also, it allows you to live in that emotion right then and there, rather than what would happen next. Realistically, what would happen next? Tommy would get arrested. You'd have to see that as a deserter.
Yep.
Okay. And then what would we have a scene with Paddy? Are we going to be involved now or not? Probably not, So where it ends, super raw, super emotional, and like you guys have just said, that's enough.
Yeah.
Perfect for me. I think absolutely nails it.
And the other thing to consider here is this movie is 2 hours 20 already. Like
it does not feel like that.
It doesn't.
It flies by. It's that last bit. It's that last hour. It's basically like the tournament, right? And it just like disappears.
Movie doesn't waste a secend. It really doesn't waste a second.
And it's those sort of decisions though, where it can just go, well, we could do another ending. You could try and resolve that, and you don't need to, and it's better for it. I think.
I've been critical of sometimes you'll see like in like 70s and 80s movies where it's usually like action movies with or more about the shoot 'em up and have it. They'll blow the entire town up, everything will destroy, and then the credits will just roll.
Yeah.
But it's just like, all right, what'd you run out of money? And they just said, all right, yeah, we're good here. But this is an example of where it works. We don't need a postscript here. You know, we really don't. We don't need that. Where are they now? We get it.
I would have been so angry if they go, Tommy was cleared for all wrongdoing from the army. They're now living together, and just, oh god. The other confrontations that we mentioned, so we got Tommy and Brendan on the beach. So again, another really, I think it's quite subtle decision that's made here,
scene.
where they see each other from afar initially in the inside bit, wherever that is, where
like the lobby or whatever.
Fighters getting together, and you're kind of like, there's going to be some sort of confrontation here, and no, it just kind of dissipates, and then you get the beach scene. It's so nice. It's so nicely done, where it's one brother really trying to reach out. It's the other one completely just arm distance, not interested in any way, and you can just see how much it's kind of hurting, or how much both of them are hurt, and you can kind of see both of their point of views as well, which I think is really great. That you're not just like, why is he being such an arsehole? You're like, kind of fair play. Yeah,
he's got cause. This is another note I've got down about like smart plot decisions this makes. So we open up the first sort of half of the film. Joel Edgerton is very, very put upon. He's like having the world, the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he's got to move it. And he's almost a holier than thou character in all of this. And then actually, at a point, we get, no, you didn't come through for your younger brother and your mother when they needed you the most. And you could maybe write that off for a bit of cowardice, but later he also says, do you know what? Partly it was selfish as well. When he's talking to Paddy, he's saying like, I stuck around because maybe you'd finally give me attention that you hadn't done before. And it's a really nice bit of depth to Brendan as well. Like, he's not completely good. Like, part of this situation with his family is his own doing.
You can't really argue in though. You chose sexy wife over family. I would do the same.
Yeah, she is wife as well. He's at she's not just sexy girl, she's
not just
sexy
some girl.
wife.
Yeah. This is the scene of the movie for me. And again, go back to Carl, your word restraint, because we don't get any payoff in the scene. It is just a confrontation, and they're not making any, they're not covering any ground here. I mean, it highlights the complicated nature of a toxic family environment. And yes, one person can see it one way adamantly, and the opposing person can see the same thing a different way adamantly. And, this was your family. Well, this is my family now. And where is the connect? Where's the disconnect? And why can't we sit down and have a cup of coffee? That's the last time someone offers Tom Hardy a cup of coffee too. It's like, no more coffee. No more coffee.
Yeah. But another worse film, they would fight there. There would be a scrap. There would be a scrap on the beach there. They'd roll around and someone would pull them apart or whatever. And they go, I'll see you in the octagon. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, no, they don't do that, because it has the degree of intelligence to it.
Yeah.
The more I'm talking about this film, I'm going to rate it 5 stars on Letterboxd, by the way.
There we go.
The more I'm talking about this, it's
looking forward to retro.
It was 4.5 in a bit. It's like,
it's better than The Artist, I'll tell you that.
A couple more, 2 final of the confrontations, I guess, because we've talked about the fighting part of it, I think, in maybe enough detail. But Tommy and Paddy in the casino, so where he's on the slot machines, and he says the line, let me explain something to you. The only thing I have in common with Brendan Conlon is that we have absolutely no use for you. That is...
Yeah, cutting.
The cup
So
with
cutting.
the change, the cup with the change.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a cup. Because, Oh.
And then that's what then puts him off the wagon.
Yeah.
And then you have the hotel room thing with the drunk Moby Dick.
God, so many themes at once.
We said at the start, like, this is a bit slept on.
Yeah, for sure.
As a sports movie, because
as a movie.
Well, as a movie, exactly right, because it is more than a sports movie. it is, it's got a genuine sort of weight to it.
Some MASH elements. This is where we said kind of the plot really, that they really feed in from the plot wise. So we've got the Quick and the Dead tournament. We've talked about that knockout tournament, literal knockout tournament. A League of Their Own, sibling rivalry, the jealousy as well that comes up. It's not just a rivalry. There's that deep seated sort of jealousy, and it's the jealousy both ways of jealousy of Brendan, of how he wasn't the chosen child, he wasn't the front runner, as he puts it in there, and he still never got his full attention after they'd left. And I think there's also clear jealousy from Tommy's perspective of what Brendan has got. Right, he's got his family. He's got a family. Like Tommy doesn't have a family. Even his family, the family he found, his found family, has been taken away from him as well. And you see that in a League of Their Own, that jealousy of each other, and how it inspires you to then go and do something sporting and get to a final and battle each other.
And you have the older sibling who left the sport for the family too. And then the younger sibling who stayed and was in it a little more, who then we find out later builds a family afterward too. Hard liquor flowing in all three of these movies too. You have from Tom Hanks' flask to the saloon to the Nick Nolte's Jameson bottle. They're all out there.
The Quick and the Dead. You've also got that sort of hidden history that's gradually revealed to be, I guess, increasingly tragic, or more tragic than you first thought, with Tommy's backstory of what happens with his mother, what happens in the Marines, and what's happened with his family, and the desertion and the complication of all of that. The Quick and the Dead, which I thought, for the Quick and the Dead, such a brutal reveal of the shoot, getting them to shoot the thing, getting to shoot the rope, and it just hit straight in the head. It's like, that'll mess you up. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's
not
trauma.
Just
watching your father
trauma.
die, which you assumed would have been the thing. No, you killed him.
That's trauma. That's daddy issues right there.
Yeah.
That's a building in.
And then A League of Their Own, the sibling versus sibling in the final. This is what this builds up to. Ultimately, the sibling showdown. And I thought what you mentioned earlier, Kieran, as well, with A League of Their Own. There's that. Well, did she drop it on purpose? Was it, she was trying to win and she just kind of got the better of her, and how that sort of translates into this one where it's less like it's the older brother. What does he do? What does he do here? Does he just...
the weight of the oldest sibling is in both of those films for sure. I mean, I'm an oldest. I don't know about you guys.
Youngest.
And you're young. Yeah, it is an unspoken dynamic that doesn't get tackled often enough. It's like the weight of being the middle child versus the older child versus the younger child. It is a thing that you do carry with you. And you see him, Joel Edgerton. Do I tie my arm behind my back? How do I handle this? And he's got his coach saying, pop out the other one. And I guess maybe what is the people, Carl, you mentioned before that people don't like this final fight scene. I guess it's that like they would stop the fight if he had an injury. Is that what they don't like about it? Or
I don't honestly know. Like Simon and I have had a joke about this on previous podcasts about how people review stuff. And a lot of the time, detail is scant on the ground for these strong opinions. So often it's like, this was okay, but the final fight scene sucked. It's like, okay, but why?
Not real. It's not real too. Like this isn't it's not a documentary. Okay.
Right. So I don't honestly know. I mean, for me,
it's gotta be, I guess, that they didn't stop the fight with the injury.
Maybe that would make sense. But again, that was such a good, like what you've just said, that was such a good vehicle for Brendan to explore the weight there. Like, do I go easily? Do I not?
How well does he portray that just from his things that you can always see him just kind of
and he makes like the right decision as well.
Yeah.
Like go finish him off, which is also why I like going back to A League of Their Own. And there's no way she dropped that on purpose.
I'm with
Like,
you.
Yeah, I agree.
I fought my guys on our episode. They're certain that she dropped it on purpose.
Who would write that? It undercuts the whole point of what that responsibility is and the lessons learned and the value that comes out of that. No way she dropped it on purpose. Laurie Petty, I forget her name in the film, completely earns that.
Kit.
Yeah, Kit completely earns that. And that's why it works.
Yeah.
And
it's fun that it's filmed in a way that you can argue about it 20 years, 30 years later. You know,
What I love as well, that they don't mention it in the film either. They don't really, there's none of her teammates really go like, did you?
The only reference is in the opening scene when the framing device, when the older version of Gina Davis is leaving, is she says to her two grandkids, she says to the older son, hey, you got to let him win from time to time. And then she says to the younger son, kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah.
So that's what people lend to, is saying that there's this. But I'm with Carl. I don't think she dropped it on purpose.
No,
but she wasn't a kid at that point either. She was a full-grown woman realizing herself.
Yes.
And at that point, there's no value in letting
it would be so hollow, wouldn't it? As well, like you wouldn't even be serving them by
exactly.
Them on a plate.
It's one thing to coax a child along. It's another thing, a fully grown adult. This is her moment to undercut that. So she didn't let her win. I will go to one with anyone on that.
Not to mention a team sport with 8 other people on the field.
Exactly.
You're really taking your personal family issues. I'm out in center field. Like, come on, I played the whole season too. Like, I want to win. Come on.
All right, let's talk about the cast then. We'll start with Tom Hardy. Tommy. I like it when actors and characters have the same name. I like to think that they went, let's make it easy for him. Just give him the same name. Tom, just call you Tommy, okay?
He looks like a Tommy though, doesn't he?
He does look a bit like a Tommy. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an insult.
No, he looks like a Tommy. Tommy to me is like a bit sort of, I don't know. They got a bit of sass about them. They got a bit something to say.
Bit unhinged.
Yeah. He's not like a Jeff.
Tommy's out there.
He couldn't be Jeffrey Orden, could he?
You mentioned Jeff.
Watch out for Jeff over there. He means business.
Friedrich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's also a very good working class, solid name, isn't it?
That's it, I think.
Yeah. He's fantastic though, Tom Hardy.
Incredible.
We've talked
probably
about his physicality.
Possibly his best performance. I brought up The Revenant before. That might be the actual answer, but this is an Oscar caliber performance out of Tom Hardy. I think he should have been up for lead actor.
Was this kind of his big, not his big break, because he had Inception a year before, I think. Had he done much?
It did. He got a lot of plaudits for Bronson.
I know, yeah, but in terms of
I don't know what the Peaky Blinder timeline is. I'm not a big Peaky Blinder guy. I don't know if you guys are. So, but he had a moment, Tom Hardy. It was definitely that like 6 or 7 year stretch, and I think this is on the early end of it.
Yeah, this is definitely on the early end of it. Peaky Blinders was after this,
and Dark Knight Rises is obviously after this. His Oscar
Peaky
nomination.
Peaky Blinders is actually after Dark Knight Rises, because there's a lot of similarities in the voice he does.
Yeah. His Oscar nom is The Revenant, and I think that's 2016, which is the same year as Creed, because he goes up against Stallone, and they both lose to Mark Rylance for some reason. I
didn't see that in that movie. I was expecting like Tom Hardy versus Stallone in Creed. I was like, I don't remember seeing this. Then Mark Rylance comes in and beats them both. That would be very odd.
Mark Rylance hiding under the ring.
Anyway, Tom Hardy. I think he shows his full emotional heft and physical heft in here that we've already talked about, and he just embodies it. It's one of those performances that I'm just like, I believe you're that guy.
When it gets to recasting, because that's where we're at. Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah,
I don't know that you could cast that role better. I think he is the perfect person in the perfect moment of time for the role.
I've not got anything that's better.
I don't think it makes it better. That's exactly right. Now, there's different versions of this movie that we can discuss. Like, I mean, like if the movie took place in the 70s, we can talk about who would have done it then. If it comes out now, who does it? If it's like their sisters instead, that might be kind of fun. If like Michael B. Jordan is in there and Denzel's the Nick Nolte role, like that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for what this movie is at that time, I can pick a better person to do that role.
No, Carl, have you got anything for?
Yeah, agreed. I don't think you can pick a better one. He was too young then, but I think like if you were making it sort of now or in maybe the last sort of 5 to 7 years, I think Jack O'Connell would be brilliant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For Tommy Riordan. Otherwise, going back then, you're looking at someone like John Bernthal.
Yes, he would
John
work
Bernthal, who is just going to come and lay down the brutality and wear all that grief on the outside. Sure. Is he going to be as good as Tom Hardy? Probably not.
Yeah.
But he would be good.
Yeah.
Because it's tricky, right? Because you've got to, and this speaks to the strength of the film. You've got to pick somebody, and this is true of Brendan as well. You've got to pick somebody who can display the emotional trauma that these guys are doing, but also believable as a fighter.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
It's a tricky balance. Yeah. Because I went through a few that I kind of rejected. I was like, Channing Tatum has the physicality. Does he have the acting chops? No.
Good enough actor.
No.
Sam Worthington, same. Like no chance. Like you would be able to do it. But at that time, that would be kind of the guy that you could maybe think.
I mean, I'll defend him slightly, and I'll say we don't know enough about Sam Worthington because he's wasted his career on Avatar. Now, his
Terminator,
bank balance,
someone did Terminator, whatever.
His bank balance would say not wasted.
Worthington would be the stock choice for the Edgington character for me.
That's true.
I would just kind of plug in for if you could, you know.
But no, not as good.
Bernthal could do it, but couldn't do it as well because if you look at like the beach scene, the beauty of that scene is this you're not changing my mind no matter what you say demeanor that Tom Hardy has. And Bernthal's very...
There would be a fight if it was Bernthal, wouldn't it?
Yes,
He's
a projector. He projects. And there's an intuitive internal hatred that Hardy brings that's tough to replicate.
Again, like I don't disagree, but that just shows how good this is, right? Because that's you use the word projects. That's exactly what Tommy does in the octagon.
Yes, in the octagon, but not in the octagon, not through speech and life.
He does show just a bit more restraint, almost through disinterest, almost through like vitriolic disinterest. Like I am done with you,
almost, isn't it? It's like completely detached from it. Yeah.
So it's tough, isn't it?
I mean, all of these recastings are tough, by the way. Joel Edgerton as Brendan, again, very, very strong performance, like a softer portrayal than Hardy, but still needs to like nail that physicality, and he needs to. It's almost a harder balance to strike.
I gotta say, I mean, I love Joel Edgerton. I haven't seen him in loads of things. I can't think of anything I don't love him in though. I got to say, Joel Edgerton is the biggest argument against Tom Hardy getting an Oscar nod for me. Because I think Joel Edgerton is a rounder character and has to do a bit more. And that's nothing to do with Tom Hardy. That's not Tom Hardy's fault.
Yeah.
That's just the way that this film is written. We mainly see it through the eyes or, the timeline of Brendan. And he's got to carry the film. And I think he is amazing. I think he's the emotional center of this film, and he has to go into, in a different way, he has to go into a lot of the same places that Tom Hardy and Tommy do as well. I think he's incredible. Studios are funny about this sort of thing, aren't they? Because it's all bollocks. But you would have loved to have seen them both up for it. You would have loved to for the Academy to have the balls to go, they're both fucking great. Let's put them both up for the nomination. But
the only name I could come up with, just because we saw him do a similar thing recently in Iron Claw, would be Zac Efron. Edgerton really brings the everyman look, and Efron his look is a little complicated.
It's more complicated now, isn't it? Let's face it.
I do think he could play as a teacher who's fighting on the side.
I've got to say, I think Zac Efron is slightly underrated. I think for a lot
I
of
agree.
people,
Yeah.
for some people, he's still trying to shake off the Disney High School Musical thing. For some people, the frat boy comedy sort of shtick.
Yeah.
I think he's better than both of those.
I loved him in Iron Claw. I thought
his turn in Iron Claw is incredible. I mean, he's wonderful in that film, and that's the role that made me think that he could do it. Maybe him and Michael B. Jordan can play adopted brothers.
The Michael B. Jordan came to my mind, but I was just like, one, he's probably too young at the time of this. But if you were going to do it now, you could do a Michael B. Jordan. And
play them both, sinister style.
Yes, yes, twin brothers. That's it.
Now, classic Hollywood, I would love to see James Caan as the Tommy role and Paul Newman as the Brendan role.
I think Carl will agree with Paul Newman in anything. So,
I would totally have. Oh no, it's difficult, isn't it? I was going to say I would have Paul Newman as Tommy. Because Paul Newman plays so many characters that have their demons with drink and whatnot. And I think, do you know what? He's maybe got that bit down. James Caan's great for Tommy, though.
Yeah.
And Newman's definitely got the restraint to be able to play Brendan.
Yeah. And if we want to get crazy with it, let's just do Pacino De Niro.
Yeah. We can do it now and just de-age them. It'll work. It'll work fine.
So I did have a couple of suggestions for Brendan. I really quite like the idea of Jerry Butler as Brendan, because I think Jerry Butler, again, pretty underrated as an actor. I think he can really wear his emotions quite well and still be believable as a fighter. Perhaps more so on maybe both of those counts, definitely on the fighter side. Eric Bana. I think Eric Bana.
Eric Bana's one of those. I forget about Eric Bana.
I love that. I love
Eric Bana, and I forgot he existed.
You think about Eric Bana in Troy, which, by the way, is a film that got a lot of shit at the time, but it's sort of aged a bit better as time goes on in people's mind.
I waved the flag for Troy. So
right.
That was, yeah.
He has to carry that film emotionally and suffer for the consequences of other people's actions. And he's ultimately in charge. His own choices that he then makes, but in service of others. And he's still an absolute badass underneath, I think.
Hell yeah.
Eric Bana is a great shout. The best I could come up with is Guy Pearce, but Eric Bana trumps that.
That's wow. I don't hate that either.
Guy Pearce is a great actor.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
He could do the emotional side of it. He'd be a leaner version of the physicality bit, but I think he can.
Yeah. The of the time one would probably be, just because they played Fighting Brothers the year before, would be Bale and Wahlberg. They were in the Fighter the year before. So that's a little more boring though. Like, again,
that's it. It's a bit more Hollywood, isn't it?
If you wanted a worse version of the movie, you could go. I've already used my Jake Gyllenhaal joke. I got to use it. Jake Gyllenhaal and Jeremy Renner. That's a great way to make the movie bad. If we do the all-female version, like in 2025, women's UFC, how about like Jessie Buckley and Julie Garner?
I love Jessie.
I can see Julie Garner as the from Weapons, the menacing version of Tommy. Yeah, there's
which
a lot
of course
of ways
opens up space for Emily Blunt, doesn't it, Simon?
Oh, not yet. Soon.
Oh,
soon.
Okay.
Who plays the trophy husband in that movie, though?
Yeah.
Is that Jacob Elordi sitting home like
Nick Nolte? Nick Nolte as Paddy. So this made me giggle. So somewhere online, as I was looking up this, I saw Nick Nolte described as old line gargler, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
This is the juicy role. This is the one you get the veteran in to do, and I would love to see a Clint Eastwood here. The damaged older father. This is 2011, so we're about 6 years after $1 Million Baby, which is his final acting nomination. He's old. He is old. Yeah. and he's as the exact age of my other idea, tying it back to one of our mashups with this, is Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman's retired from acting at that time, still with us. They're both going to be, I think they're both about 80
Yeah.
at that age.
Because I had Robert Duvall as well as an option here.
Oh.
And he would have been
yeah.
80, I think, as well at the time
Yeah.
of this, which it's old, but,
It's older than the character.
Yeah.
Because you need like an aging but still able to tackle a bottle of Jameson, so Hackman and Eastwood could both be approaching like a little frail for the role, but Nolte's it's pretty great casting.
Yeah,
it's pretty perfect casting, really, for this type of role, isn't it? You can, just looking at him, you can just see emotion. He just portrays that emotion and the damaged. He's got a damaged face, is what I want to say, but in a nice way.
It looks like he's been through the ringer. Yeah. He's 84 now.
Yeah,
Nick Nolte.
I think
he was
70.
He was born in 41. So
it's 15 years ago. Yeah, so he'd be
70. He was 70 at the
60,
time.
70. Yeah, because I thought like Tommy Lee Jones. You'd love that, Carl. When you look for daddy issues, Tommy Lee Jones. But
wow, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love Tommy Lee Jones there, and this is going to be right after No Country for Old Men. But No Country for Old Men's 2007.
Yeah.
So 4 years after that, he could do it. Nick Nolte looks like the guy who's been hit in the head one too many times, though, and that's what that role kind of needs a little bit. You need the CTE victim portrayal there.
This is a good point for me to jump in, I think. Because I love Clint Eastwood as a shout. I think that's really
that's a good shout.
I'm less keen on Gene Hackman.
Okay.
Because I think he is so dominant almost. Clint Eastwood is. Clint Eastwood is, right? But Clint Eastwood has also had a bit more vulnerability to him.
Oh yeah, he plays vulnerable and submissive. You've seen like Bridges of Madison County. He's very vulnerable in that film. That's a good point. Is that there is a dominance to Hackman.
Yeah,
there is definitely a dominance to Hackman.
I think Clint Eastwood's a great shout. I think Hackman only hits half of the character.
The problem with Eastwood is like you brought up Hackman's dominance, but the problem is like when Eastwood's in a movie, it's an Eastwood movie, and this role doesn't command that. This is not a Nick Nolte movie. This is Nick Nolte playing a veteran role, but and Eastwood never really did that.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job casting.
I think basically what we're learning from this is that the casting was bloody good. Yeah. For the leads.
The principal, I would like to see Paul Giamatti do that.
Paul Giamatti's a good shout.
He'd be a great spot in there, being the officious prick who's at home pumping his fists, rooting along to it. He'd really no shame on Kevin Dunn. We love him, but Paul Giamatti would own that role.
Pumping your fists. Jennifer Morrison as Tess / sexy wife. So as well as being sexy, I think she actually plays the wife character pretty well. Like when she's doing the waiting at home, waiting for that phone to buzz, and the anxiety and the stress that she's showing, I think she does that really well. The confrontation with have sort of the face off in the bathroom where it's revealed he's not being a bouncer, he's actually just fighting on the side.
I don't love her. I don't love her character. It's not her fault.
Yeah, don't give her a lot.
No, she doesn't have a lot.
But I don't love how quickly some of those turnarounds are, because there are a couple, and there's one with the principal as well, where they're like, no, it's not with the principal, sorry, it's with the trainer, with Frank Grillo, where they go, what are you doing? You can't fight. Don't be stupid. And he goes, well, I can. And they go, oh, all right then. And it's like an instant thing, rather than, no, you need to wear that a bit more. You need to dig your heels in a bit. And actually the film, and again, this is why I say it's not her fault, the film needs to give her a touch more of how she suffers his decisions and the effect it has on them and the family, which, in defense of the film, isn't really what this is about.
No,
this is about the brothers and the thing. But like, if you really want to round her character out, I don't think she did anything wrong. I think she was perfectly fine with what she had, but she didn't have a lot. She probably needed a bit more to go at, I think.
But of course, this is where you put Emily Blunt.
Of course.
Yes, that's
Emily Blunt can do anything.
Yeah.
an easy Emily Blunt role. Yeah.
We've talked about Frank Grillo, very well cast. Can I talk a little bit about Brian Callen? So he plays himself here as the sort of color commentator during the fight scenes. I think he does a hell of a job. He's basically doing his best like Joe Rogan impression.
Fantastic.
But I think everything that's coming out of those two commentators, so Brian Callen, Sam Sheridan, they basically just play themselves.
Mhm.
They make it feel like they are genuinely commentating on a real fight.
And an easy way to ruin the movie too. Is if these two guys are annoying or tough to sit with, tough to live with, it takes you out of the fight. It takes you out of this. They do a fantastic job. I like how they split on the brothers. One needs to see it to believe it with Tommy. One needs to see it to believe it with Brendan. They meet in the middle, and then by the end, they take the step back too. It's not about them once we get further in the tournament. Really well done. Really well.
That's it. Yeah, that's a good observation about how they are sidelined as the movie wears on. We said this about F1, Si.
One.
Yeah, how the quality of the actors and the chatter
they just fit
coming from the pit lane.
Yeah,
lent that film a real authenticity.
Yeah, you looked at those the team principal and the tech guys. You're like, I believe they could be the team principal and tech guy. Yeah,
and it let you enjoy then the racing scenes without being taken out of like, what are these guys talking about? Who are these guys? Really nice. Absolutely. I'm also grateful because having not seen this before, I was really fearing that Dana White and by extension Joe Rogan was going to pop up at some point.
I mean, like, that would happen now. If that was made in 2025, that would actually happen. Yeah. And there's the support. I think the supporting actors throughout this are great. We've got Noah Emmerich. I think he's great as the bank manager. It's not like a critical scene.
Well, there's a nice line in there though that is really cold. Right at the end, when he says about, oh, that's right, your daughter. So many stories.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's just like, do you know how many sob stories I get in here?
Yeah, so many stories. Cold.
And that's again another choice that they make that is just mentioned. It's like, daughter had serious health issue. They're screwed over with medical bills.
And the bank doesn't give her.
Yeah, but she's all right now. She's all right now. It's not like we don't have that hanging over the plot of the movie. It's a thing from the past. It's just a little baggage we have here.
But he doesn't like lift the girl up at the end of the fight, and there's none of that.
More restraint.
Gross sentimentality or anything like that. Okay, a final section of today where, based on what we've talked about today, are we happy with the proposed mashup? First of all, quick summary. Why does it work? Why doesn't it work? Kieran, after what we've talked about, what's your...
I couldn't be more happy. I got to talk about 3 movies I love. I think I love them all more after we talked about them. I'm happy you guys, I forced you guys to watch them, and this is fun. I mean, this is a fun deal. Even as we were discussing, there were little elements we added in as we go. So I think these 3 movies that really have nothing to do with each other on face value work together in a wonderful little family.
They're the best ones.
It's a great use of the game. Absolutely great use of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it wins across the board on plot. Like the combinations of different plot elements that feed into this, I think it works fantastically. Like it's very different tonally. Does that matter? I don't think so. I think it still works. It still works for the game. Carl, did you come up with anything better? Anything alternative?
Oh, better. I don't know about better. So, love the mash. There's no question that it works.
But
well, you're thinking of like aesthetic. Are you going to bring in Raging Bull for the fight scenes? Are you going to bring in Rocky for the underdog story? Maybe if the tournament was how I'd have sort of suggested it, where it was more of an open thing and an underdog sort of doing right, rather than
Mortal Kombat.
No, not Mortal Kombat. maybe you go Rocky in that respect. I'm not sort of sure it works. Also, the other thing about Rocky is like Rocky is actually quite the first one is actually quite a gritty story, working class, all that. It's all good stuff. And then it ends in a very cheesy sports movie.
He doesn't win though.
He doesn't win. That is a good
That is redeeming. Yeah.
That is a good point because it resists the urge to go full cheese. Yeah. But the later ones, and I like them, like, don't get me wrong, the later ones definitely move away from the gritty working class hero stuff into, no, we're fully embracing the sports movie and the cheesy tropes and all the rest of it.
And I will say that those sequels have coloured the first one in people's minds. I think everyone thinks that all of those films are the same, and then you watch Rocky again, you go, "Oh no, wait, this is completely different."
Yeah, totally. So I don't think Rocky quite works. I'm looking at something like Bloodsport. I'm looking at something like Bloodsport because of the Kumite, the tournament format, and of course it is hand-to-hand combat. It's actual fighting, unlike The Quick and the Dead. The Quick and the Dead, by the way, is the one I would be knocking out because I can replace the tournament bit with Bloodsport, so that's fine. I love the sibling rivalry and how the sport isn't really the point in A League of Their Own. I think that works really well for Warrior, so I'll keep that. But I'm looking at like Bloodsport and going, it's a tournament. We've got the hand-to-hand combat. Does that fit a bit better? You don't quite get brothers. You could maybe look at Kickboxer, but then there's no tournament in Kickboxer. I don't know. Rocky IV, because of the montage and the difference. I don't know. So yeah, Bloodsport would be the one I would say over The Quick and the Dead. Do I think it's better?
No.
I think the mash works brilliantly as is.
And the thing is why I like it is because this is exactly the mash that I would never have come up with, because
also you haven't seen Bloodsport. Let's get that on record.
And that as well. And but because I would have automatically gone, well, I need a fighting. I need a hand-to-hand combat because that's what gets it there. But I think it's what I love about this is that we've managed to get there, but it's not a direct like, oh, there's fighting, there's boxing, there's thing. It's like it's a different kind of tournament. So I think it's quite a I've had a few beers, I can't remember words. It's quite a
we've accomplished our goal then. That's what it comes down to. I did I wasn't sure if I was supposed to do this or not, but come up with parents for the movies leading into it. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. So
please do.
So for The Quick and the Dead, so we got to go tournaments. So we've been talking a lot of Paul Newman, but I took Color Money.
Yeah.
Where it's more of a pool tournament. So we have that. And then the Western with Unforgiven. So Unforgiven and The Color of Money lead into The Quick and the Dead, the Gene Hackman tie-in and all that.
Please come back and do that episode.
Oh God, are you kidding me? I've done one of them's in my top
next
four
week.
there.
Yeah, let's do that. That's amazing.
And for A League of Their Own, a little trickier, but we keep the girls in baseball and keep the dysfunctional coaches. So I got to go with one of the greatest sports movies ever made, Bad News Bears.
Oh, okay. I wonder where you were going to go. I wonder where you were going to go. You went for Bad News Bears. Okay.
Yeah, Bad News Bears. Channing Tatum, not Channing Tatum, Tatum O'Neal, and
I would like to see that
Walter Matthau. Yeah, and sister rivalries. Got to do Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. I don't know if you guys have seen that one there.
No.
But a heavy duty. Two sisters just really not getting along. Betty Davis in that one. So that would be my mashup there with that.
So I did come up with one for A League of Their Own, which is you need the women in a man's world aspect to it. You need the fighting for a dream, the underdog story, sports side of things, reluctant coach that doesn't believe in them but comes around. So I've got the Mighty Ducks. So similar to Bad News Bears, I guess, in terms of the ratings around the similar sort of time.
Is that pure? Is that pure? How early is the Mighty Ducks?
That's 80s.
No, Mighty Ducks is like 92, 93.
Oh, is it not pure?
Might have been like the same year. 91 maybe?
I fucked it. 92.
Yeah, same year. It works.
Oh, it's tight. Okay, fine. But with Flashdance. So you got Flashdance, women in a man's world, doing the whole the welding. She's got dreams. she's got dreams to be whatever it is that she wants to be. I can't remember, some sort of dancer thing.
League of Their Own works by a month.
Does
Wow,
it?
it works.
So
It works.
Mighty Ducks comes out a month later than League of Their Own.
I had it in my head. I didn't even check because I had it in my head. It was like late 80s. I don't know why. Oh, that's fine.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're golden.
Kieran, thank you so much for joining. It's been a blast. It was as good as I anticipated, which is fantastic. Is there anything you would like to tell the people about that's coming up and how they can find you, I should say?
Just check out Best Picture Cast, where, as I said, we're headed to the end of our list. We have a big Oppenheimer episode coming up as our anniversary episode to celebrate our 6 years as a podcast. Our first Christopher Nolan film. Follow us on socials throughout the year. Like I said, we do little tournaments along the way where you can vote. We draft movies and you can pick a winner. And we, take it very, very seriously, probably more seriously than we should. And there's a lot of bragging rights and whatnot. So we have, I think, an actress tournament coming up next in the spring. So that should be fun. Every year we do a horror tournament and a bad movies tournament, sub 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Best Picture Cast, just how it sounds. You can follow us on all the socials. We recently have the Patreon up too. But I would say if you've never heard of us or me before, just go to the pod feed and check out a movie that you know and like. We deep dive, we live in it. It's designed for like long commutes, or if you just watched a movie and you're thinking about it, you want to process all the thoughts. We give you about 3 hours on each film and everything there. So
yeah, if you're a fan of the long form podcasting, it's fantastic.
That's what we are.
No, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, Kieran. We'll be back next month, 8th of March, as we invite another guest to join us to Mashflix and Chill. You can also find all our previous Move of the Needle date night classic and monthly retro episodes on our feed. Do like, follow, and all that stuff on whichever social channels you doom scroll on. And next week, on the 15th of February, we will release our latest Classics Collection episode as we continue our romance theme to coincide with Valentine's Day. Strap on our massive pants and tackle Bridget Jones's Diary. Thank you, Kieran. And goodbye to everyone.
It is hybrids, a game from Carl's mind. Thinking about what if two movies combined? We could stitch them together in pyramid style, or a filmily tree set side with a smile. We still do the scale, all 5 points we've got, and unveil the ale. Only Carl drinks the lot. A man called Adam said, hey, this looks good, so we made it a podcast as